Well, Lauren Rainier, who I know Lauren because his dad Harry was my dad, Davey Allison's first Cup car owner, and he was kind of the origin of the 28 Rainier Racing, and Lauren and I have a really special relationship because he has been kind of a mentor, a bit of a kind of a father figure to me, and has he's really helped guide me in the right direction with my racing career, and helped keep me on the right path. He contacted Karen Tonnell this year, who is the track promoter for Lonesome Pine and Kingsport, and basically said, I've got this kid that knows how to race. He's gritty, he's competitive, but we don't have a ride for him right now. Is there anything you can do for him? And I mean, right away, I was accepted by Kingsport, Lonesome Pine, all the good people that are involved. Duke Bear and Tony Vance, who are both real involved with the tracks, have been helping kind of get me acquainted with the track so that I can focus on the driving part. And I mean, I've just been incredibly blessed and blown away by how quickly things have moved and how nice everybody's been. I grew up racing bandoleros and karts, half-scale cup cars, mini cup cars basically, and I had a really horrible accident, relatively speaking, for a bandolero car, and it freaked my mom out a little bit, so she basically told me college or no racing, like you don't race until you go to college. And so I focused on other sports, other avenues in high school, knowing that I'd get back into racing when I was allowed to. And then by the time I went to college, I started to get back into racing and got really involved with the Allison Legacy Series. My great uncle Donnie and my grandfather Robbie Allison both kind of coaching me and helping me in that situation, and taught me a ton about how to race, how to pass, how to go fast and be competitive, and how to work hard towards your goals. I mean, there's so many people that have talent but they don't work hard, and there's people that don't have talent but they work hard, and typically those are the people that go farther, and so that's one thing that everybody's done a really good job of teaching me, is that like, if this is something I want, this is something I have to work for.
Braden, can you spell out? B-R-A-Y?
We're just really looking forward to this. Having Robbie Allison coming on board this year with the Allison name, we're really excited. He's going to learn to drive at our tracks, so that's pretty prestigious, having something like that happen, and having Bobby, at the track probably 70% of the time. But now Robbie will also be competing at Lonesome Pine and Kingsport.
Yeah, actually I've heard a ton of stories from my grandfather over the years about Kingsport and Lonesome Pine both, and his short-term memory isn't that great, but his long-term memory is spot on. I mean, he can remember, he probably can't remember what he had for dinner last night, but he can remember every time he's been to Kingsport Speedway, where he finished, what he had for dinner that night, who he was hanging out with, who passed him for the lead, who he passed for the lead. I mean, he feels, my granddad feels very connected to Kingsport, the history of the track and the history of Lonesome Pine, and he's so excited to be coming up here with me this season and coaching me. My goal for this season right now is to basically, there's been so many people that have opened their doors and their arms to me with their equipment and their things, like for me to race, that my goals for this year right now are basically just to race every division that I can race in every single weekend at Kingsport and Lonesome Pine, and continue to work towards my late model career. And once God and the people around here open up an opportunity for me to race a late model for them, that'll become my goal at that point.
What about long term? Is this what you want to do for a career?
Long term, I went to college for journalism and marketing, and I
You better stick to racing.
I know it. And I loved it. I loved journalism. But once I got back into racing, that was it. I mean, I really can't see my life going any other way, to be honest. Whatever I do, I hope that it involves me being behind the wheel. That's all I know. I mean, I just love racing, and that's what I want in some capacity in my life to involve it.
How did that first test session at the Lonesome Pine work out for the two of you guys?
Robbie did real well.
Yeah.
First time in a full-size car, new track. I thought it went real well.
How do you like your prospects for the season?
I think we're going to be okay. You know, as time goes on, I expect he'll get a lot faster and be right there.
Well, Tony can tell you, my granddad was getting a kick out of it walking around the car. I mean, he's very familiar with what's going on here, you know, which is very cool for him because there's so many things out there that people race now that he can't relate to as much, and so being able to see this Camaro and feel comfortable with the car and feel comfortable that like he can identify what's going on with it. You know?
Yeah,
He was excited about it.
Basically, this is what he raced, and your great uncle.
My dad too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did your dad race at Kingsport any? Because I think it was dirt when he was coming up.
Yeah, it was just dirt, and he didn't do a whole lot of dirt racing.
Yeah.
If he did, he was usually upside down over the walls.
Well, let's hope that you don't follow that same trend.
Yeah. Well, it's paved now, so maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah.